Hello everybody, I'm PopRocks. You already know me if you've seen my previous video about this on the tanks. And today we're going to tackle the supports. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it. First up is Ana. My favorite thing about Ana would have to be the skill shot sleep, because it feels so good when you hit it, and when you don't hit it, it's usually, you're just like sitting there like, okay, whatever, I didn't hit it, that's my fault. And then my least favorite thing about her would probably have to be the lack of mobility. If you see my last thing, you know I really do like mobility, and so it just hurts a lot to not have much, but you know, she makes up for it in the survivability with the sleep and the anti/boosted heal nade. But that concludes our Ana segment. Now we got Baptiste. My favorite thing about Baptiste would have to be how he can very easily fluctuate between healing and damage. It's very good. He can provide a lot of value from keeping you alive to also just doing tons of damage. The least favorite thing about him would have to be that very same thing. He does a lot of damage because his 3-round burst has recently been getting recoil nerfs, and so I should say recoil buffs, sort of. Recoil buffs, because he has less recoil now on his gun, which would be cool and all if he didn't do so much damage on his crits, you know. So now he crits a lot more often if he can line it up, and he hits a lot more of those headshots in a row. So for me, he just does way too much damage as of now. And that concludes our Baptiste segment. Now on to Brig. My favorite thing about Brig would have to be either the skill shot whip shot similar to Ana's sleep, or it would have to be the sheer utility of her just because she can defend your other support. Her ult's very good because it's like a little mini tank. She has big AoE healing. It would end some burst healing on her repair pack, which just makes her very useful to have on a team if she's good and the other team isn't like way better against her, you know. And my least favorite thing about Brig would probably have to be the lack of vertical mobility. While she has a little bit of horizontal mobility in her bash, I do think that it's definitely enough, don't get me wrong, but if I were to do anything to her, I'd just give her either it more often or be able to like do it horizontally or vertically. Like maybe not bash vertically, but like, I don't know, just something. I just like mobility, guys, you know this. Now onto Illari. My favorite thing about Illari would probably have to be either her pylon or her ultimate. If I were to say pylon, it'd just because you could set it down, and it actually does a really good job of keeping people up as long as they don't like get focus fired too much more than normal, you know. If they're getting shot by everybody, they'll die. If they're getting shot by like one DPS and one support and not even like constant, it's like you can keep her up. You can keep them up so well, it's insane. Especially with your own healing on top of it. If I were to say Captive Son, however, it would definitely just be because of that playmaking potential and the fact that you could just solo ult and not feel bad, because to be honest, if I were on Genji, I'd solo ult that same person. I don't care. Either way, you're getting fucking solo ulted, dude. And my least favorite thing about Illari would probably have to be the fact that her healing is on such a short resource. While I do get why it is, because it is a 120, I believe, healing per second resource meter, it just feels like it runs out so long and the regen takes a while, but I get why it's there, I just don't like it. And that's my Illari segment. Now it's time for the Juno segment. My favorite thing about Juno would probably have to be the mobility and the fact that she is another speed boosting hero. I think it's very good that we have another one of these, and it's so much different from Lucio's speed boosting that it doesn't really feel like it's just the same hero. Plus she heals different. It's just a lot of different stuff, and that's why I like her so much. The other part, my least favorite part, would have to be something that I am now dubbing the Kiriko effect, which basically means she's always strong just because of her kit itself. Because Juno has a lot of self-mobility, gives a good team utility, and then also pulsar torpedoes can do a lot of decent damage and healing. So overall, she's just very good. And that is probably the least favorite thing about her, is just she's so good that she suffers from this quote-unquote Kiriko effect. Now for our Lifeweaver segment. I really love Lifeweaver, but I do know what my least favorite part is. But first, my favorite part about Lifeweaver would have to be either Tree of Life or Life Grip. His ultimate Tree of Life is so good, it can easily win you a team fight and it can win you a 1v1 if you're really greedy, but you know, that's me though. My least favorite thing about him would probably be the fact that he has such a negative reputation with the community, because if I remember correctly, he was released in season 4 and was garbage. He was so bad because we just got off of Kiriko, Junker Queen Sojourn being super good season 1, Ramatra being really good season 2, them all getting like adjustments season 3, then he releases season 4, is just horrible. He was just so bad at the time, but now I think he's kind of good. Like, obviously he's more like, he's kind of like a Lucio, you know? If you don't know how to play him, you ain't gonna do good. But if you can get into the loop, if you can get into the swing of it, you know, you're gonna be very good with him and you'll see a lot of success. Now obviously there are those games, but that's not here nor there. Anyway, let's get on to our next segment. Now for our Lucio segment. He was my first ever main and the only character I have a golden gun on as of now. Anyway, my favorite thing about Lucio would definitely be his mobility by far. He's the only reason I love mobility in this game, and he's the only reason I actually still play this game, to be honest. I don't even play Lucio anymore, but he got me so into the game just because of this mobility that I literally went from playing a couple times a week on Genji to straight maining Lucio for the last year, for like a year and a half, you know. Like, I'm not kidding. Lucio is my GOAT of Overwatch, and he makes me play this game. My least favorite thing about Lucio would be all the boop nerfs. I know this has nothing to do with Lucio as a hero, but I don't care. We did it with Lifeweaver. I think we did it with another character. I think Hazard, maybe, in the other video. So I'm doing it with Lucio. I hate that he keeps getting boops nerfed, whether it be for the tank passive or himself being nerfed. Like, why? He already couldn't boop tanks. Why are we nerfing him more? I get it was an adjustment, but like, just let us feel that 10% for like a week and then rip it away. And that concludes our Lucio segment. Now for the bane of my existence, Kiriko. My favorite thing about Kiriko would definitely be the fact that she's so good all the time. And my least favorite thing about Kiriko would be that she's so good all the time. I'm sorry. I like Kiriko in a vacuum. In a vacuum, Kiriko's awesome sauce. You know, she's pretty alright. She's pretty good. Good ultimate, good abilities, good healing, good damage. But see, when you take her out of the vacuum, you have it all together, then you have it with other heroes who are also really good. She is just horrible. She's like so good. It's bad. Like, even when she's bad, she's so good. Like, what? I think there was one time where she was really bad, but she was still better than Lifeweaver, which says something. Because, like, Lifeweaver, I will say, is the epitome of bad for the supports. So if Kiriko, who like pros or like higher levels would have said like she was comparable to Lifeweaver, they didn't mean it. They meant it in the aspect of the fact that she is way weaker than she was beforehand. Like, felt as weak as Lifeweaver comparatively to the previous patch, you know? And I don't like it. She's made the Kiriko effect a thing for Juno, so I hope that our next support will not suffer from the Kiriko effect and will be more along the lines of a Lifeweaver, because God, I love Lifeweaver. Anyway, that concludes our Kiriko segment, and God, I hate this character. It's Mercy time. Honestly, she's pretty okay. My favorite thing about Mercy would definitely be her movement. I love the movement. It's very good. It's very fluid. It just lets her get around the battlefield very quickly. And it's just nice to feel, but it's also very punishable if you can hit your shots relatively well. My least favorite thing is more of like a skill issue, you could say, but it's whenever I go for a res, right, and you think the animation's completed, but it didn't, right? I swear to God, I will watch a Mercy play. They will die at the exact same frame or looking frame as I died in like one of my games, but they'll get the res and I don't. It is such a, like, it's an inconsistency that I don't know if it's just me having slightly off timing just enough, but it feels like every time when another Mercy goes into the middle of my team to res, I'll be shooting her, nobody else shoots her, or like we all shoot her, right, and then she dies after and she gets the res, right? I'll try to do the same thing a different game, and then I can't, and I'm sitting there like, what the heck? How come every other Mercy can but I can't? This is bad. But that might just be a personal thing. But that does conclude my Mercy segment. Now on to Moira. My favorite thing about Moira is definitely the healing and damage balance, very similar to Baptiste. And alongside that, I don't know why people do the DPS Moira. Well, I get why she does a lot of potential damage. I don't know why they don't heal sometimes. That's what I don't get. Because it's so easy just to send a damage orb or a heal orb and then go off, get a kill real quick, and come back. Like, you could heal your teammates, make sure they're full, put out an orb, or like be on an angle where you can send them an orb. So then if they start getting lower, you can send them one, so at least you did something, right? While you're flanking. I don't know why people don't do that. But my least favorite thing about Moira would definitely be that it's very easy to DPS with her. She has a very much an auto attack. She has the orb, she has the fade, the coalescence is very good. And so it's just like that combo things makes it very easy to flank. Though there's nothing the devs or anyone can really do about it. It's just kind of like people need to just like that people would just get better is what I'm trying to say. But I was originally gonna be like they just need to get better, bro. Like that would have sounded so mean. But anyway, that concludes our Moira segment. Last but certainly not least is my boy Zen Yada. My favorite thing about Zen would definitely have to be his high DPS potential with also pretty decent utility and healing. I think like if you have high damage, low healing, but you're winning, awesome. If you have that but you're losing, chill out a little bit, maybe do some more healing, discord more, then do the damage, but from the back line. Because I do notice a lot of people do push up on Zen because they feel unstoppable, which real dude. My least favorite thing about Zen would probably have to be the fact that his Discord is on a 7-second cooldown, just because I don't even feel it 99% of the time anyway. Like, I never see the cooldown bar. I just put it on somebody, it goes away, I'll put it on somebody else because I don't see that original person now. So, like, it doesn't even do anything. So, like, I think lowering it to 5 seconds couldn't hurt that much. But with that, that ends our video. I hope you stay tuned because sooner or later I will be releasing the DPS variant of this. This will take a little bit longer, but you know, it is what it is. And like always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.